when we share stories, it's sometimes so resonant for some people. We hit it. They're like, yes, that's me. That what they happens on the other side is a sort of an opening. And when they reach out to you, hopefully they do. Hopefully, at that point in time in your relationship, you built enough trust where they're willing to sit down at lunch with you and say, hey, you know what you said really landed really hard for me. Come back and say to you in clinic, that story really got me thinking, and I don't know, it made me feel this way. Now, this requires in and of itself trust. But what if you are at a place like I was at Esalen and you share a story? And for me, like, the point of my work is to push the boundary and the frontier, and to also speak the impact of trauma on fertility. So it isn't the easiest ground to walk around without people getting upset sometimes with the stories that I share or getting triggered. What I try to always remember when I realize I'm in a situation, I've done my stopping, staying still for a moment. Somebody comes to me and says, like Lucia did, that hit me wrong. I stop for a moment and I remember, I go back into another principle of spiritual fertility, which is to act or not act. I try to really, in that moment, think about the energy that I had around sharing the story. I look to my own calibration. I look to my own, my own state of responsibility for where I'm at. I take responsibility for how did I sound in that sharing, or how did I share that story, or was there anything unique about it from my end? Because when we're acting or not acting, main principle of healing is like, what is the impact of what we're doing, right? And how is it landing? Is this the right time to do it? Was that the right time to pull out that piece about transgenerational trauma? Was I anxious about leading the weekend and I skipped ahead a little too soon? Or had I failed in providing a container? Number one question, is there something that broke, or I could have done better in the container that I offered? I think that's a really important thing, and it's one of the reasons it's so important to have a strong container to begin with. I also really try to reflect back to the person at that point in time, the respect of the work, which is that we do together, which is that I am here to help support their inner guide, their inner calibrator, to help them get back to center. And that what's most important to me is that everything I share with them, when they run it through their internal guide, that it lands with them as being true, that it lands with them as being like, yeah, that's for me. It can be something as small as, like, I recommend doing the 4 pillars exercise, and somebody comes back and says, you know what, I tried that, it did not work, I did not like it. Fine, great, let's move on. I don't need to press them because I'm a field guide in the world of, we do what we have to in the field. We don't stick to one specific algorithm. Because the map is not the territory, right? We have to be agile. We have to be multidimensional. We have to understand the quadrants of the person we're dealing with. We have to remember their dream of where they want to go, why they want to be a parent, and what's happened between now and then when they actually are holding their child in their arms. What can we do to be a part of that experience for them? So I'll say back to them that, what is most important to me? And this is very grounding because this is something I would have said already to them in our work together. Or in the case of a workshop, something I would have shared at the beginning as well. What's most important to me is that everything I share with you, you move it through your own internal filter. My job is to help support you in your connection to your intuition. And if something I say does not land or does not feel right, it's as easy as not taking it. That's still going to be different though, if somebody being angry or afraid or even reluctant to speak to you because of what the story brought up for them. The opportunity, right, is still there to find a way to keep on working through what it is to heal. Along the lines of and reinforcing their own connection, it's essential that we work very hard to disempower our power, to disempower the transference of power that our clients or a room full of attendees of the seminar give to us. And we can be wise, we can be great guides, and we don't have to be authorities. For many people, what is lost in the idea of somebody knowing more than they do, or somebody being the expert that can fix it, or somebody knowing the right IVF clinic that will do the right embryology that will make this round so much different, becomes to me, not only does it really start to rob people of the opportunity that is available when you don't get pregnant when you want, the healing window that is so essential for breaking transgenerational wounds and for healing traumas from this lifetime. The person really must feel like they are, ready to do the work of walking through the grief and the sorrow, the pain.